again, go again. Hello there everyone, and today I want to talk about this, Jesus of Nazareth. Now this film was made in 1977, and when I saw it because it was repeated again in 1984 and 1988, and when it was repeated again in 1988 on Channel 4, this left quite an impression on me, and I'm here today to talk about this film. The film was made in 1977, and it was a British-Italian epic film and television drama series co-written by Anthony Burgess and Ciccio Ciano di Marmo, and also Franco Zeffirelli, who also produced and directed the film. It tells the story of Christ from birth to his life, ministry and crucifixion and resurrection. Starring Robert Powell in the role of Jesus, with an all-star cast including James Mason, Anne Bancroft, Laurence Olivier, Christopher Plummer, Ernest Borgnine, Rod Steiger, Anne Bancroft, Anthony Quinn, Peter Ustinov, James L. Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, Michael York and Olivia Hussey. There's also another connection to another James L. Jones film in this, but watch out for that. The drama was conceived when Lou Grade had a meeting with the Pope Paul VI, who congratulated him on making Moses the Lawgiver, starring Burt Lancaster. At the end of the meeting, the Pope hoped that his next film would be making about Jesus. 2 weeks later, while having dinner with an executive from RIA, he told him that he intended to make the film with both his company and theirs. Franco Zeffirelli was offered the role of director, but he refused at first. But on the insistence of the Pope and on I've lost my place here. But on the insistence of the Pope and some persuasion from Sir Lou Grade, Zeffirelli accepted the role. Both Grade and Zeffirelli insisted that their adaptation should be coherent and acceptable to all believers, whether believers or not, and that they consulted experts from the Vatican and the Jewish faith as well. Principal photography principal photography, like filming and all that, was filmed in Tunisia and Morocco, and in September 1975 and May 1976. Another couple of interesting facts about this film. As soon as Zeffirelli had finished filming Jesus of Nazareth in the desert scenes, George Lucas moved in to make Star Wars. So that's the connection with James L. Jones. It was Star Wars, and also Monty Python used the Jerusalem sets for their film Life of Brian, which upset Zeffirelli because they thought they were taking the mickey out of Jesus, but which they weren't. Many famous stars were considered for the role, including Dustin Hoffman, Al Pacino, but they didn't look the part. When Lou Grade's wife saw Robert Powell in a play, and she commented on how beautiful his eyes were, he was offered the role. And quite a good choice, I think, as well. Because Robert Powell looks the part. The film was premiered on an Italian channel, RAI 1, on the 27th of March 1977 and ended on the 25th of April 1977, whilst over here in America it was shown in two 3-hour broadcasts. On the 3rd of April and the 10th of April, Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday, and the Pope insisted that people watch it because it was such a good film. So yeah, that's Jesus of Nazareth. And what can I say about what more can I say about this film? It's one of the better adaptations about the life of Christ. We all know we know if it wasn't for Christ, we wouldn't have Christmas or Easter or anything like that. And so yeah. Anyway, what we were watching on Good Friday, on the 1st of April 1983, and of course 40 years later in 2023. On BBC One, you had CFAX at 6 o'clock. 6:30 breakfast time. The Wombles was at 9:20. Jack and Ori 9:25. Hong Kong Phooey, Why Don't You? Hong Kong Phooey at 9:40. 10 o'clock, Why Don't You? 10:25 Play Chess. 10:35 The Bugs Bunny Thanksgiving Diet. 11 o'clock Worship for Good Friday. 12 o'clock Wonderful World of Disney. News Afternoon at 12:50. Regional News at 2 minutes past 1. King Rolo at 1:05. Bric-a-Brac at 10 past 1. Musical Roots at 1:20. Beautiful People at 2 o'clock. 3:30 An Everyday Story of Island Folk. That was at 3:30. 4 o'clock Think This Way. 4:15 Finders Keepers. The Baker Street Boys at 20 to 5. 10 past 5 The Evening News. At 5:20 Incident. 5:30 Robert Brothers and International Circus. 6:30 International Superstars from Hong Kong. The movie Bugsy Malone. Now that's the one where they throw all the rather than using guns, they use custard pies and stuff like that. So yeah. The 9 o'clock news was at 9, obviously. 3 Men in a Boat is at 9:15. Messiah was at 5 past 10. That's basically all the Easter music, opera and all that. And then at 10 past 11 was the film Gambit. And then obviously they closed at whatever time they closed because it wasn't really sure. BBC One this Good Friday at 6 o'clock it's breakfast. Morning Live at 9:15. 10 o'clock The Moment of Proof. 10:30 Animal Park. 12:15 Bargain Hunt. The news is at 1. Regional News and Weather at 1:20. Hope Street at 1:30. Virtual Home at 2:15. Escape to the Country at 3 o'clock. 3:45 The Bidding Room. 4:30 Unbeatable. 5:15 Pointless. 6 o'clock is the news. 6:25 Regional News. 6:35 The Weakest Link. The One Show is at 6:35. 7:15 The Weakest Link. Beyond Paradise is at 8. Would I Lie to You is at 9. The Cleaner is at 9:30. The News is at 10. 10:30 Avengers Age of Ultron. Over on BBC Two they do actually have the showing of King of Kings starring Jeffrey Hunter. This again is another brilliant adaptation, and it was nicknamed I Was a Rebel Teenager because Nicholas Ray directed it, because he directed I Was a Rebel or something like that. Anyway, so that's on at Good Friday this year on BBC One. Meanwhile on ITV on Good Friday was 6 AM Daybreak. Good Morning Britain was at 6:30. Sesame Street at 9:30. The film The Golden Voyage of Sinbad was at 10:30. The Passion at 12:30. News at 1. 5 past 1 Laurel and Hardy. 13:25 Royal Four in the Hand. Young Winston was at 2:20. The Smurf Springtime Special was at 5:15. This is when LWT took over, and yeah. News at 5:45. 6 o'clock David Hemmings' Maggie on Broadway. No, Doug Hemmings' Maggie on Broadway. 7 o'clock was Family Fortunes. Film James Bond on Her Majesty's Secret Service was on at 7:30. The News at 10. Show Jumping was at 10:15. 11:15 was The Death and Resurrection of Jesus Christ. And at 10 to 12 In His Image. And that's when, after that, is when ITV closed down. Over here, on ITV this Good Friday, on 2023, you have Good Morning Britain at 6, 9 o'clock Lorraine, 10 o'clock This Morning, 12:30 Loose Women, 1:50 is the Regional News and Weather, 2 o'clock is Stuart Little 2, Lingo at 3:30, Tipping Point at 4:30, 5:35 The Chase, 6:35 The News, 7 o'clock Emmerdale, 8 o'clock Coronation Street, Redemption is on at 9, 10 o'clock was ITV News and Weather, 10:15 It'll Be Alright on the Night, 11:15 English football highlights. 12:55 telly shopping. 3 o'clock the Jonathan 3 o'clock in the morning. The Jonathan Cross Show. 3:55 unwind with ITV. 5 to 6 o'clock is Ainsley's Fantastic Flavours. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is Good Friday. I know it's not much, and I've had to film this video about 2 or 3 times because I've had problems with. Anyway, I hope this is good enough for this video. I've tried to make it as entertaining as I possibly can. I do like Jesus of Nazareth. I think it's one of the best adaptations that has been made, and there have been quite a few. I did, as I said before, think about maybe putting up the top 10 religious epics, but I don't think anyone would be interested. I don't know. Please let me know. As I say, I don't want to be guilty of idolatry, because, you know, maybe having this image of Robert Powell playing Christ in my head, maybe that's a form of idolatry. And, you know, so yeah, anyway, thank you again very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video that I'm doing, which I'll be